The four primary actions of a proof. So this is a recap of proofs. It hopefully is going to supplement the other videos that you're already watching. There are basically four things that you can do with a proof. You can write the given, and sometimes there's more than one, so write it as many times as necessary. The second thing you can do, and the most important, is state something else that is true. That is where the logic is actually going to come in, and it repeats often. And you can do it as many times as necessary. You can take it from the diagram. Usually it happens once, but it could be done more than once. And then you can combine statements. Make sure that no matter what you're doing of those four primary actions, you always have a reason to back you up. So the basic proof is to write the given, and then something else, and then something else. But sometimes you'll get two separate unrelated given information. So you can see on the left, I wrote the first given and kind of ran with it, said something that was true, kept running with it, and then I have a dead end. So I wrote the second given, wrote something else that was true, wrote something else that was true, had a dead end. I combined them, and then I was done with my proof. And so this is the proof we're going to do here in just a second. So given angles 1 and 2 form a linear pair, and angles 2 and 3 are congruent, prove that angles 1 and 3 are supplementary. What I did is I went ahead and made our two-column proof into 3, so we could talk about the four primary steps, what's true and why it's true. So the very first thing is you're going to start with a given. There are two of them, so I'm going to start with the first given. Angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair, but why is that true? Because it was given. What else do you know about a linear pair? Tell me something else you know about a linear pair. Well, you also know that they are supplementary. So angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. Why? And this is where I highly recommend you just do if, then. Just try the if, then thing. If two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Okay, now what? Say something else that you know. So what do you know about supplementary angles? Just in general. You know their measures add up to 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Why? If two angles are supplementary, then their measures add up to 180 degrees. We're just going to write that down. Okay. What do you know about angles add up to 180 degrees? Well, you know they're supplementary. Now that takes you backwards in the proof, and you don't want to go backwards. So this is where I'm going to start over, and I'm going to do the second given because there isn't any additional truth about the previous statement. So here's my second given. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Why? Because it was given. So since we're starting over, I'm going to state something that I know. What do you know about congruent angles? You know their measures are equal. So the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 3. If two angles are congruent, then their measures are equal. So if two angles are congruent, their measures are equal. What do you know about the measures of angles being equal? You know they're congruent. That's going backwards. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine two statements. In this case, I'm going to combine two statements that that have the measures, because there's nothing else I can say. So up here in line 3, we have measures adding up to 180, and in line 5, we have measures equal. So I'm going to still stick with the measures equaling 180, but I'm replacing the measure of angle 2 with the measure of angle 3, and this one I can't put in if-then form. It's just the substitution property, because I replaced the measure of angle 3 for the measure of angle 2. Okay, so I did the given, said some stuff, started over with the given, said some stuff, combined, and now that I've combined, I'm going to try to say some stuff. So what do you know about two angles that add up to 180 degrees? what else is there to say? And that's what this last line is. What else can you say? You can say that the angles are supplementary. So angles 1 and 3 are supplementary. Why? And we go back to what we've been doing. If then. If two angles add up to 180 degrees, then they are supplementary. So that's what we write. Okay, so one more time. I started with the given, said some stuff, couldn't say any more. Started with the second given, said some stuff, couldn't say any more. Combined, and as soon as you combine, it's like you're starting over, so you're going to say some stuff. Okay, now I know some of you are really concerned about this if-then, because you're like, that's a lot of writing, and I have to write a lot. Is there any shorter way to do it? Yes, there is. I don't recommend it because it takes more memory. The if-then sentences just let you change what you see specifically into what's general, but I'm going to let you look at that. Okay, so here's the same exact proof. And for the second step, instead of if-then, I can write linear pair supplementary. It's the same conditional statement, it's just not in if-then form. In line 3, instead of saying if two angles are supplementary, their measures is 180, you can say a definition. Definitions tend to occur when you go from words to numbers, but not always. In line 5, it's a definition of congruent angles. We went from congruent to measures, so that's why I said words to numbers aren't always it, but there was a change in symbol. And then the last one, we went from numbers to words, so it's definition of supplementary. So let's recap one more time. The shortest proof is you write the given and you write other things that you know is true. We do the proof we just did, which was two separate givens, and once we can't say anything else that's true, we combine them, and once it's combined, we try to say something else. Sometimes you'll be done at the proof at combined, but sometimes not. Okay. Sometimes you have a given and say some stuff and you're done. Then you go over to the diagram, like segment addition postulate, say some stuff, and then you combine. Completely crazy. Two separate givens, a diagram, combine, combine, combine. So just always try to remember that saying something else is true is the most important part of the proof.